Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a swing state analysis of Texas, Georgia, Arizona. And we're just going to be basically studying the trends in the sunbelt region of the United States, which is going to drastically help Democrats win future elections. And if the Republican Party continues to ignore it, they are going to start losing drastically. So I'm going to fill in all the safe states. I'm just classifying them as as safe states because Trump won them back in 2016. That's basically what I mean by safe for now. Minus Georgia, Texas, and Arizona. And let's give all the safe states that the Democrats carried back in 2016. So 241 to 232 is the current total. And now we're going to go to open a new tab up. Let's go to first state we're going to do is Texas, because that's the big one. That's the one that everybody's going to want to know. I just want to get that one out of the way and done with. So Texas election results 2000. See, Bush won it with 22 points. And that was back in the year of 2000. So 2004, almost won it by 23 to 24 points, with the only two big cities that really voted Democratic or slightly Democratic were Austin and El Paso. Then all of a sudden you see 2008. Barack Obama then picked up Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and El Paso. Austin became heavily Democratic at this time. By about 60 to 70%. And Houston all of a sudden became Democratic with about 50 to 60 points. Not margins, 50 to 60 points for Barack Obama. Then Dallas became the same thing. El Paso became 60 to 70%. And then you see a lot of the South with racking up near 20 points shy of that DC margin, which is incredibly good for Democrats. As you can see, though, the rural parts of the state are really trending Republican. And the suburbs are growing ever so much to the Democrats. Then in 2012, Houston was won by under 50 points for Barack Obama. And Dallas was about 50 to 60. Austin was about 60 to 70. San Antonio was about 50 to 60. El Paso was about 60 to 70 point margins. And Mitt Romney won it by about 16 points. And this was down in turnout in 2012. Then in 2016 is when things started getting alarming for the GOP. Even with Hillary, Trump won it by slightly under 9 percentage points. 8.99% to be exact. And he didn't even win all their electors because there were faithless electors in Texas. And turnout was up. So, right now as it stands, if we go back and we do a search on Texas Senate elections 2018. Ted Cruz won it by 2 points. And he was a very popular candidate in Texas. And Beto O'Rourke was an Obama-type establishment Democrat. And this was only with a 53.01% turnout rate. The suburbs of Houston, Austin, and now Dallas have trended into the Democratic column. Ted Cruz won it by about 150,000 votes. Or about 200,000 votes. And he won it by about 2.6 percentage points. And Beto O'Rourke did a really great job at campaigning, but for the next election, he may or may not have any chance due to his new stance on gun control that may have taken Texans, driven him away from him and the Democratic Party, but we'll see what happens in this next election. Because Joe Biden is a different type of candidate too, he might be able to do even better than Beto O'Rourke did in Texas. And Ted Cruz was able to outperform Donald Trump 2 years prior by about 8 or 9 percentage points. So, if I go back now, we give them Texas, they're there. They don't need to worry about Georgia or Arizona. They win the election. Sorry about my voice right now. Arizona. Let's go to 2008. So over time, Arizona's been pretty much a swing state. And surprisingly, Phoenix is one of the very few big cities in the country that drastically have supported Republicans. So let's go to 2000. George Bush won it by about 6. George Bush won it by about 9.5. McCain won it by about 8 or 9. In 2012, Mitt Romney won it by slightly over 9.03 percentage points. Then Donald Trump won by about 3.5 percentage points. In Maricopa County has shifted to the left, meaning that once Phoenix becomes competitive, the state is likely to change. And as well, if you notice the vote totals down here, neither candidate reached 50%. And the turnout rate was 74.1 or 74.2%. And Donald Trump could very well lose this state in 2020. Now, if we go to Arizona Senate election 2018. Kyrsten Sinema beat Martha McSally due to her victory in Maricopa County, which holds Phoenix. And turnout was 64.85%, almost 10 points lower than it was in 2016, and she was able to carry it. So now if I go back to 2012, Jeff Flake won it by less than Trump won the state in 2012. So I'm assuming that it could either tilt to the GOP or tilt Democratic in the next election. So Arizona is very much in play, and if Texas leans, Arizona will definitely be lean, if not likely. So now they're at 281. So now if we go to Georgia. So Trump won it by about 5. Due to the Atlanta growth in the suburbs for Democrats, and he won it by about 200,000 to 300,000 votes. And turnout was up. So, I mean, that's another thing that's good for the Republican Party. If turnout's up and they're still holding on, that's going to help them out a lot. But, yet again, back in 2012, we saw Romney won it by 8. McCain won it by 7. George W. Bush won it by about 16.5 points in 2004. And in 2000, he won it by 12. So Georgia, do I expect it to flip in 2020? Probably not, but only because of Joe Biden being Joe Biden. He might be able to pull it off with the Atlanta suburbs and his appeal to African Americans. And some white voters will be highly enthused to vote for Joe Biden as well. So now if we go to Georgia gubernatorial election in 2018, less of a turnout, and Kemp won it only by about 55,000 votes in Georgia. So really that's going to make things seem not too good for the Republican Party in Georgia. So now if I go back to presidential. So now I'm just going to throw in Arizona, Texas, and Georgia as flips. Give them all the states in 2016. Oops. So that would put the Democrats at 297 to 241. So in order for the Republicans to make up the deficit, they would have to pick off Minnesota. And these are the states that are trending red that they could pick off. Like, most likely scenario, I'm not going to put Washington in there because that would just be stupid. Well, yeah, they might actually have to pick off Washington as the most likely. Well, no, not Washington, because these states are less of margins than Washington was. So it would probably be a Delaware. No, they wouldn't even need Delaware. It'd just be, they could pick off one of these states. Now, which one it would be, it's really a tough call. It'd probably be, I would probably go with New Jersey as the most likely to flip. That could make up the deficit. And why I say New Jersey? Well, because the Democrats are really going to start to benefit from the House trending more in their way, while the Senate trends more in Republicans, because the bigger states and bigger cities are what the House benefits most off of, because the most districts are around the big cities. So with Connecticut, then let's just say that happened, it's likely going to be a Democratic victory due to the trends in the House. But the Senate, on the other hand, because Republicans are picking off more and more states, while they only lose a couple big states, Senate elections are going to benefit more Republicans in the future. So we have that to talk about for another video. But yeah, that would make up the deficit, would be New Jersey. Or they could do another state with Connecticut. Or, I'm sorry. No. They could pick off Maine at large would be another option. They could, let's just put that back. Delaware. And Rhode Island would be another option. And Virginia, I don't ever see that going back. I mean, maybe with Trump he could pull off some sort of victory there in 2020, because Biden's not going to pick Tim Kaine as his running mate. I highly doubt he would do that. That would just be a really stupid move for him to do something stupid like that. Joe Biden will not pick Tim Kaine. Just seeing how Hillary did, Joe Biden probably, I'm assuming he would know that that would be a stupid move. Sorry. So yeah, there, like, it would have to be, now let's say Florida flips. Now, let's give the Democrats all the states they won, plus all the swing states that I have labeled here back in 2008. We'll give them all those states that they won back in 2008, plus the new swing states. We'll see what happens. Because Joe Biden has a high possibility of pulling off a 2008 type victory. And now a 2008 type victory would look something similar to this. 422 for the Democrats and 116 for the Republicans. Because the margins in Texas, Georgia, Arizona are getting lower and lower and lower for the GOP. And that's going to cause massive problems down there. So, yeah, 422 to 116 would be the total. And then for the Republicans, the mass victory that they could have would be probably hovering right around the 403 electoral vote mark. Would be the most likely scenario for a Republican landslide, but that is never going to happen due to the trends down here. So if those trends down in the South continue like that, this would be the biggest Republican landslide you would probably ever see. Like, the Republicans would probably have to pull off an election by about 10 percentage points for this to happen in the near future. In the popular vote margins. Like, in states, they'd have to go up by 10 percentage points to pull this victory off. Yeah, it is not going to look good for them. They really need to focus on the sunbelt. They cannot afford to lose the sunbelt at all. So that wraps it up for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss another video like this in the near future. And have a great day.